I mean, it's not just here in Northeast Ohio. I mean, this is going to be a more widespread impact, I think, as we kind of go through the next couple of days. Certainly tomorrow, it's possible we could get a spot shower east. And I mean, maybe an isolated sprinkle or two, Lake County, Ashtabula County. That would be the extent of any rain that I expect for tomorrow. But beyond that, you have a daily opportunity of either seeing rain, a wintry mix, or even some snow each and every day this next week. And I do think that this is going to have some impacts on travel, especially after Thanksgiving, headed into next weekend, because that's when the cold air really starts to arrive. So if we have any snow, it's going to have a pretty good opportunity of sticking to the roads, and it may make it a little bit more cumbersome if you are trying to travel back into Northeast Ohio. You look at radar right now, certainly overproducing in shower activity, more so than what we thought it would yesterday. It's just this light rain because you still have that northwest wind. It really hasn't cut off that westerly component just yet. And so we may still be dealing with some light sprinkles. Good news is some drier air is starting to work through. So a lot of this may not necessarily be making it to the ground at a super heavy clip. So it's just a couple spotty sprinkles that we'll deal with overnight. Winds are still going to be breezier out of the west to almost northwest as temperatures eventually drop into the mid to upper 30s. But by tomorrow, we get more of that southwest wind. It could give us a couple breaks in the clouds, but expect it to be a pretty overcast day. It's probably going to look a lot like this through a good majority of it. And again, I'll watch for that spot shower chance farther to the east. If you're trying to get some holiday lights up, tomorrow is the day to do that. And I would highly suggest getting any outdoor activities you want completed before the Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow, because it really is going to be one of the last drier days that we are going to have, because there's a system that is going to be brewing by the time we get into the middle part of the work week. And that's what's not only going to source in some Arctic air, but it's going to give you that daily opportunity for rain and possibly even some snow. So that is your first alert now if you are planning any Thanksgiving travel. We are going to walk you through a lot of what we are seeing in the Weather Center tonight and how it may help you kind of plan a little bit better for any holiday travel you have planned this next week. That's all coming up in your first alert forecast. We are gearing up for a very active end to the month of November. Tomorrow, probably one of the more quiet days that we're going to see through the next 7. And we're going to stay mainly dry. The exception will be potentially Lake County into Ashtabula County. That's where I could see just a stray shower trying to get going as our winds slowly start to move back out of the southwest. So keep that in mind. Vast majority of everybody pretty much are going to stay on the dry side tomorrow. Temperatures back into the mid to upper 40s. Then next week, we actually start off the work week on a mild note with some rain chances working back in out ahead of a cold front. But once that front passes through, we start talking about rain mixing with snow and then eventually an Arctic blast, which is going to really kind of solidify some better odds for us to see snow after Thanksgiving and into next weekend. So if you are traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday, I have a feeling we're going to see some travel delays as a result of how active this weather pattern is going to be. Let's look at this next week just in a broad sense. You'll notice Monday, we've got the color there in green because temperatures Monday are still going to be into the middle 50s. So anything that falls in terms of precipitation, it's going to be in the form of rain. And I think your better chance for rain will actually be through the afternoon, though there is some guidance that does paint a few showers possible through the morning. That is a trend we will watch. Once that cold front comes through late Monday night into Tuesday, it is going to help to start transitioning some of that rain into snow. Now, that may not be for everybody, and I do not anticipate any of that snow to stick because it will likely be pretty sporadic where we actually see that occurring. And that's just because of the strength of the cold air behind this system. Not quite strong enough. By Wednesday, we're tracking a bigger system that for us will have big impacts come Thursday, but we may see this system ramping up across our area through the middle part of the work week. So again, rain, some snow possible just because of where your temperatures will sit. But if this system moves farther south, farther north, that can have a huge impact on what kind of mix we're talking about for your Thanksgiving. Right now, I think we're going to start off and spend most of the day as rain, but as temperatures really come crashing down Thursday night, everything's going to change over to snow, and we're going to be dealing with some Arctic air. So that temperature is going to fall. It's going to fall fast, and we're likely going to see some accumulation by the end of this next week. Let's take a big look at all these systems, right? Because it's kind of hard to kind of imagine how this is going to be rolling through. This is Monday, 5 p.m. If you are getting a little bit more of an early head start on the holiday travel, know that here locally, you're going to be battling some of those showers. But it's a relatively quick moving system, so it will lift off towards the northeast pretty quickly by early Tuesday. But then you get that northwesterly wind coming in off the lake, and so that's going to keep a few of these showers going. As temperatures fall through the day, you may get a little bit of that mixing occurring, and mainly second half of the day on Tuesday through early Wednesday morning. But you're starting to see the signal of what's to come through the middle part of the work week. Say you've got travel plans, maybe you have a flight that's connecting to or through Chicago. Keep that in mind. You may run into some delays because the later we go through Wednesday, the more we're going to see this system really start to come together as it approaches northeast Ohio. It's going to kick up the wind. You can see out to the west, it's talking snow, and across our area, maybe a little bit more of that wintry mix, but it's really watching where the track of that system goes. If it starts to trend farther south, it puts us more in play with some of the snow. If it trends farther to the north, it keeps us as mostly rain. So these are some of those details we have to work out next couple of days. But I do think a very active weather pattern for us for Thanksgiving. By Thanksgiving night, cold air starts to rush in, and that's where we start to make that transition to all snow. So how cold are we talking by the end of the work week? It's a pretty significant change. I think for a lot of us, temperatures are going to struggle to make it any warmer than the middle 30s, and that will likely occur during the early morning hours. Then temperatures will fall through the day, and you'll notice by next weekend, daytime highs could potentially only be into the middle 20s. So that's what we mean by all this activity continuing to roll through. It's a lot. We're going to talk more about what you can expect kind of day to day, specifically looking ahead towards Thanksgiving coming up in the next half hour.